I was married for 2 years at the time. Wife is a serious TikTok junkie, sends me at least 20 a day. We are both in our early 20s. Start sending ones about open marriages and also some podcasts. A few long talks about how we are young and should try this before we are old and have kids. After a few months of pushing and pushing, I give in, and we set up some boundaries. 1. No unprotected screw. 2. Nothing in our house and no overnight stays. 3. If screw occurs with someone else, no details and no touching each other for 30 days. And a doctor's visit and cleared before any intimacy between us. We open our marriage. She starts going on dates on Friday nights. I work anyways. I get home normally around 10 p.m. For the first year was kinda fun. She goes out on a date. By the time I get home, she is already home or getting home at the same time. She tells me what they did on the date and she jumps me. These are just dates, no screw or intimacy. During this first year, I myself go on 3 dates. Each one goes the exact same way. They find out I am married and it is not what they are looking for. Was nice meeting you. After 3 dates, I quit. Then one Friday night, she doesn't get home till like 3 a.m. Comes in, makes a joke about being too sore and tired for anything. See some hickey marks on her chest and thighs. Not going to lie, was hurt and upset by this. Monday or Tuesday, I don't remember, she tries to initiate with me. And I remind her of rule number 3. She gives me the "Are you serious?" 30 days. And a doctor's visit. I said yes, deadly serious. This becomes a pattern for us. She goes out with her bad boy on Friday nights, has her fun, then spends the rest of the week trying to get me to change rule 3. To me, feels like she put me on a shelf. I start avoiding her, working more, being out of the house. Even if just out walking, start becoming a lot more physically active. Start losing some weight. She is full in a fog of new relationship energy and doesn't notice and thinks I am out doing my own thing. 5 months of being on a shelf. I am not seeing a reason to remain in this marriage. I was selling my happiness so she could be happy. And I was running out of things to sell. Up to this point, she has not broken any boundaries, and every time I bring up maybe she should step back from him, I am overreacting or blowing this way out of proportion. It's just some fun 1 night a week. Our 4th wedding anniversary day arrives and I take the day off work, make her dinner, clean house. She get home from work at 4, hops in the shower, get dressed up. Tells me she is going to a bar to see a local band and not to wait up. She completely forgot about our anniversary. I am destroyed. I wake up Saturday morning at 9 a.m. and she never came home. Boundary number 2 broken. I send her one simple text. You have broken our boundary of no sleeping over. I am done. At 11:30, she starts calling, tell me she just closed her eyes for a second and passed out. Was an accident. I am so sorry. It will never happen again. My unwillingness to even talk about it causes her to wake up out of her fog some. She ends up coming to my work just before we open and makes a scene in front of the whole staff and the owners. I am finally able to calm her down enough, and she leaves. I promised on Sunday we can discuss it. I get home from work Saturday night and she once again tries to have screw with me, and I again tell her rule number 3. She then tells me that she will no longer be seeing him and wants to close the marriage and work on reconnecting with me. Seems she freaked out when she woke up there, got my texts, and he made fun of her, and she realized how much of an asshole he was. She tries every day to be intimate with me and fails badly. At this point, I have no need or want or desire for her. She is a roommate. Barely. The 30 days goes by, she goes to the doctor and gets checked out. She is clean of diseases, but it's pregnant. Not sure where her mind was with this, but she comes home excited and tells me we are pregnant. I tell her, good, I hope you two will be happy together. Looks at me confused for a few minutes and starts crying. She a few days later sends him a text telling him. His response is, wow, sucks to be, you might want to pass it off as your husband's laters. I file for divorce soon after. She starts doing anything and everything to change my mind about the divorce, make promises, begs, pleads, offers everything under the sun, asking for a chance to fix us. I am polite and nice about it, but not having any of it. Am stuck living with her for a while till our lease is up. We fall into a new pattern. She tries to be intimate with me. I turn her down. She gets upset. I go for a run. My resentment of her is growing just like her baby bump. 3 weeks ago, she comes in my room to talk. She brought home pizza for dinner. Starts with how being pregnant, she is super horny all the time and tries yet again to have screw with me. I at this point am running out of politeness. Tell her sorry, I am not into fat chicks. Maybe get Tinder, sure someone on there would be down for it. She leave my room crying. Also, we had our first divorce hearing and the judge slapped 6 weeks of main character on us court-ordered. We go 2 sessions, kinda a meet and greet thing, talk to us separately to get our stories, I guess. I just want this over so we can move on with our lives. Last Sunday was my birthday. On that Friday before it, she asked me to spend my birthday with her to celebrate it. I decline her invitation. She keeps pushing the subject, and I snap. I tell her that I don't waste special occasions on her anymore. The last one was our 4th anniversary in which she went out to get knocked up by some pothead loser. I leave her crying in the kitchen, head to work, told her I would see her on Monday for our court-ordered waste of time. Monday morning I am at main character. She never shows. I call her nothing, call her friends nothing, call her parents. She got arrested Sunday morning for driving without insurance and reckless endangerment, and they are on the way. I offer our house for them to stay at. I have a couch at a friend's house. My lawyer goes to the judge and expedites things. My divorce finalized this past Friday. Yesterday, I helped them pack some of her stuff, and today going to help them load a U-Haul they rented. She gets released tomorrow, and they are taking her back home with them. She wants to see me, but I feel that will just be worse for the both of us. We both need to move on. Now for the top of comments before reading the update. Do not sign birth certificate and ask your lawyer as to how to get out of not paying child support. You need to show DNA test to show that you are not the father, and do not proclaim the kid as your own, otherwise courts might compel you to pay child support. Please check with your lawyer regarding kids born with another father during marriage. Lawyer said I am free and clear. Just super emotional today. Been crying, not sure for what just. Crying is good. Cleansing all those emotions. Getting all that negativity out of your system. You're in a liminal space right now, and that can be emotional and uncomfortable. You're closing up this chapter so you can move on to the next. Uncomfortable is right for sure. Dealing with my former father and mother-in-law. Getting her stuff packed up and in a U-Haul. Now for the updates. Update 1. My divorce was finalized a week and a day ago. I have been playing every moment over in my head and feel guilty for making it out the other side pretty much intact, and in some ways better for it. Where she is still living in that dumpster fire and not moving on or giving up. Had to change my phone numbers, delete my Facebook. Can't even answer the phone at my business. Only good part is she is 8-hour drive away at her parents', so she can't just show up. But she is sending her friends by in proxy. I was stupid to think that once the divorce was final I could start my life up again. Final update. I hope. Last Thursday I took a call from my ex-wife. Been no contact since our divorce was finalized. Had a 45-minute talk with her. She had been doing some self-reflection and was apologizing for specific things she did in the 5 months she put me on a shelf and the 6 months of trying to stop me from divorcing her. Seemed she needed some closure and hoped that someday I would forgive her and no longer hate her. I informed her that I have forgiven her and that I want her to have a good life and forget all about me and move on with her life. She promised to respect my no contact. I am move on with my life. I am even working on rebuilding my relationship with my parents, which I have not spoke to in 7 years. Story 2. Has anyone else ever learned disturbing things about their ex only after divorce or separation? We were married nearly 4 years, together for 5.5. He could be funny, loving and sweet, and we weathered so many life-altering and challenging experiences together. But he also routinely subjected me to verbal and emotional abuse, with a small taste of the physical. I felt as though I served as his mother, therapist, bank, and screw doll at the same time. The tension had been building for a long time, but there came a day where I could no longer tolerate his criticism, tantrums, invasions of my privacy, and generally walking on eggshells. I initiated the separation without ever looking back. We are still not formally divorced because he is trying to sue me for more money in the settlement. Since then, I've been lucky enough to find an incredible new partner who has only ever shown enormous regard and respect for me. I have healed tremendously from the trauma of my marriage. Recently, however, in a bizarre twist of fate, I connected with my ex's girlfriend before me, who was also with him for 5 years. We compared and contrasted our experiences with him, and it was unnerving to see how similarly he would treat us, how he adjusted his behavior to manipulate me more effectively, and most of all to find out the lies he told me about her. Lies that were concocted and backed up by his immediate family, perhaps in a bid to discredit her, should she ever reach out to me, and therefore continue enabling his abuse. On top of this, my ex's former girlfriend, who my ex led me to believe was still romantically pursuing him despite knowing about me, revealed to me that his contact with her was one-sided and that she would only reply nicely and politely because he had threatened to expose her nudes. I knew my ex was capable of threatening and harassing behavior because he had previously threatened to get me fired from my job and tried to lie that I had committed horrible assault, but I would never have guessed he would stoop this low. My heart breaks for her, and I regret all the years I naively believed the false and incoherent portrait of her he had drawn. The most disturbing things of all are these. 1. During their relationship, she had come across his collection of depraved pornography, including snuff scenes where a girl was having her head smashed in. My ex had told me about this incident, but portrayed it as her being prudish and close-minded about porn. I knew that he was into degrading scenes, but the degree of violence in these videos that was described to me are shocking. 2. After they broke up, not long before or after he threatened to expose her nudes, my ex's former girlfriend discovered an extensive collection of photographs that my ex stored online, prominently featuring barely legal or underage-looking Asian girls, including a photo of an actual child. I saw the receipts with my own eyes. For context, we, as in my ex's former girlfriend and myself, are Asian women who look considerably younger than we actually are, mid-30s, and both have very thin and petite physiques. As of right now, my ex has begun dating a 20-year-old Asian college girl who fits the exact same profile. He is nearly 40. I have distanced myself emotionally from my ex enough to not feel betrayed and blindsided. If I hurt at all, it's at the thought that my in-laws, my mother-in-law and sister-in-law, who I loved, trusted, and considered my own family, knew about his abusive tendencies from the start and may have actively concealed them from me despite appearing supportive and on my side on the surface. It is a lot to process. I am glad to have found out the truth and grateful to my new friend for finally showing me the light, even if it meant revisiting very traumatic memories she had long blocked out. But it is pretty devastating to consider the fact that I shared the same bed with and readily offered my body to someone this awful for years and would never have guessed, even if I knew he was abusive. Had she not reached out to me, I would have been ignorant forever. Has anyone else been in this scenario? If so, what did you learn and how did you react? Now for the advices. Wow, our stories are almost identical. My ex was very similar to yours. Verbal and emotionally abusive. He would chase me in an aggressive manner, which he knew I hated from trauma of my older brother beating me up as a teenager, until I fall. Once he did it when I was pregnant with our second-born. I walked on eggshells too. He didn't want to do anything with me. He wanted me to work, cook, clean, give him screw and blowjobs whenever he wanted, and throw guys' night parties for his friends. He never went anywhere with me. We never took vacations unless my parents paid for it. He was just an all-around narcissistic asshole. During discovery, I found out he was committing tax fraud for 5 years. He was depositing the tax refund into his personal account, as well as collecting my stimulus checks. He claimed mine got lost, and that we were getting audited, so we never received a tax refund in 5 years. He used the money we got for our wedding, a little more than $15,000 10 cut it from my friends and family, since my parents were the one that paid for the wedding, to buy himself a sports car. He used the rest of the wedding gift money to open a joint bank account that I had no access to. I was very naive on this part. He took me to the bank, had me write my signature on all the checks addressed to me, and told me we were depositing it into our new joint bank account. It was never joint. I never had access. When I'd ask him when my card from the bank would come in the mail, he would say he's working on it. Or there's an issue. There's a fault with the bank. I took his word for it. Yes, I was an idiot. That the only reason he isn't signing his parental rights away is because his dad would cut him out of the will. He isn't cut out to be a father. He doesn't want this life. Kids are expensive. He just wants to smoke weed and play video games while he manages his dad's bakery business from home. He also told me about a fantasy he has of me dressing up as Pocahontas. I'm South Asian. He's white. I braid my hair into pigtails and he yanks and pulls on my hair while I give him a blowjob. I had no words except what the screw. He said he sees himself as John Smith. What an egotistical maniac. His last girlfriend was with him 5 years. She was also Asian. He got her a visa from overseas. He said she was crazy. But now I realize he is crazy. His friends and family have convinced him that our second-born is not his son, and the reason I left him is no fault of his own. but because I found another man. When he found out his son was in fact his, and that I wasn't with anyone else, since I was too busy being a slave wife, he has been hounding me to get remarried and have things go back to the perfect way they were. Yes, mine has been red-pilled. He is effectively looking for the type of relationship you get when you buy a wife overseas. He wants no problems to be brought up, blowjobs on bad days, no contribution to housework or romance, the cooking done for him, and regular screw that matches free use and rough screw pornography. He is bitter that he isn't having screw right now, and has asked me almost every time we have talked since he told me he didn't love me. It's straight out of an incel playbook. Diamond Bachelor bullshit. I'm just giving the scenario a wide berth and dating myself. I'm better off now. Story 3. I'm happy my ex broke up with me. So me and my ex-boyfriend have been together for almost 2 years, and we recently broke up with me because after the year we've been together, we both become unhappy. Me more so than him. He would never call me, never text me, never want to see me, never buy my gifts, never post me, never being there when I need him, and never go all out like I would. I have done a lot of things for this man, but he never reciprocated it. I felt I was alone in the relationship and just there for the comfort he was giving me. When finally he said he wants to leave after seeing me texting one of his female friends how he treats me and how awful he makes me feel. He told me that I can live in with my life and do whatever I need to do, and that we can still be friends because he still has love and care for me. And when the breakup happened, I felt nothing. I thought when you break up with someone it's supposed to hurt, but I didn't feel that way. I had no tears to cry when he said those words. To be honest, I think it was because after the almost 2 years we've been together, after all the tears and pain I felt for being in that relationship, I realized that he was never good to begin with. I'm sad that I'm losing a friend that I had for a really long time, but I'm not sad about how things are. I've been in a relationship by myself for so long, and I'm actually kind of glad it's over. I'm glad I'm not trapped into being in something that hurts me every time I lay in bed. I'm actually happy, and I haven't cried once about it. But I did think about it and get sad over the good times. But then I think about all the bad he's done to me, and then I don't get sad anymore. And he tells me he's been unhappy for so long. And I ask him, why did you continue if you knew you've been unhappy? He didn't answer me. I can tell you why I continued in the relationship. He gave me comfort. He gave me someone I can trust with everything. That's what he gave me. But now it's over, yes. I can always find someone else. But I've never been the type of person to get male's attention. But he gets female's attention left and right. And when you really think about it, he was never mine to begin with. No, he didn't cheat on me and never cheated on me. Because as soon as we broke up, he's posting a girl. Made me think about the times I would beg him to post me and beg him to do things. It made me realize he never loved me and he never cared about me. Because if he did, he wouldn't have lost me. All I needed was reassurance. A phone call or text every day or even a post or something. But I got none of it. Me writing this now made me realize that he's done absolute nothing from trying to mend this relationship. And what's crazy about it is that his entire family feels bad about him leaving me, telling me that they love me and don't want me to leave and they really cared about me. It's like water getting splashed in my face after seeing him post that girl. I finally blocked him on everything. And I feel glad I did. He's a shitty person. And an even worse boyfriend. I honestly feel bad for anyone he's going to be in a relationship with. But he wasn't always bad, however, because in the beginning of the relationship he would call me and text me every day. He wouldn't post me or do anything crazy like that. But at least he would call or text me. And that's all I needed. Just that. I was content in that. And that beginning of the relationship is what made me stay with him. But in every relationship, they both have to show care and love. But I was the only one to do that. And after fighting to be in something that is only one-sided, I realized that he never made me happy and hasn't in a long time. But I'm done making excuses for him. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm finished. He can take all the bullshit he told me and shove it, because I'm happy I'm free. Freed from begging and pleading with someone who doesn't want to do the same. I was tired for so long, and after trying to fix something that was always breaking, I'm happy I don't have to fix it anymore. I'm actually happy. I'm not sad anymore. I don't have to cry anymore. I don't have to feel pain anymore. I don't have to look at him and hope for him to change, because I'm finally free. I'm happy. Story 4. Am I the a-hole for hurting my friend's feelings at her engagement party? I never wanted kids. My husband too. But life happened, And now we care for my two little nephews, 5-year-old twins. It was an easy decision for the both of us. I'm not saying I regret anything, but it's not easy, especially with little kids that are traumatized. Many of our friends, many who are child-free, have been great. They're especially understanding to the fact that though we didn't give birth to them, we are now parents and the kids are our first priority. They also understand that we can't hire babysitters or ask anyone else to watch the kids due to several reasons. We had to skip one wedding, and another couple allowed us to bring the boys to their originally child-free wedding. Both couples were happy, and there are no hard feelings between us. Now, another friend is getting married, and she knows what's up as well. When we declined her invitation to her engagement party that would just be adults due to alcohol and other kinds of adult activities, she called me and begged me to come. I said I'd try my best. My husband and I decided that he would watch the kids on his own while I went. While I was getting ready, the boys were watching me, and they started to cry because they realized I was going out. This caused me to be late. I apologized to her, and while she said it was okay, I could tell she was slightly hurt. Regardless, I tried to have a good time with her and other friends. I didn't drink any alcohol, but she kept trying to make me. Then my husband texted me a couple hours and saying that one nephew is refusing to eat, and the other is screaming. I stepped outside for 10 minutes to call them, and when the boys calmed down enough, I went back in. At this point, my friend looked angry. I had apparently missed a speech. She said I ruined the entire night by stressing her out with my attitude. She even accused me of thinking that I was better than her, because I'm a parent now and she isn't. I told her that isn't true, and I didn't mean to ruin her night, but I'm sorry. She told me to screw off and said something like it's a few hours. Those kids don't have to be on your mind all the time, and I was just going to leave, but I felt so insulted. I told her that she can't put her night being ruined on me. And I'm sorry she had a terrible night because I didn't drink and because I refused to forget about my kids for a couple hours. But her feeling hurt is not my responsibility, and she can figure it out herself. She started crying, and our friends kindly told me to just leave. While they all understand my position, they think I should apologize because it's her party or wedding. And I didn't hurt her after all. I haven't been thinking about this much, but I have some free time, and I just got a text from said friend telling me that I'm uninvited from her actual wedding. Am I the a-hole? Now for the advices. Not the a-hole. You say your friends understand, even her, but they clearly don't, especially her. Someone being late to a party is not a reason for the host to be upset. Someone not drinking at a party is not a reason for the host to be upset. Someone stepping out for a few minutes is not a reason for the host to be upset. Every friend that thinks you ruined her party and hurt her doesn't get it. They are the assholes. You owe none of them an apology, but you need to ask yourself if they still deserve a space in your life. That type of negativity is never needed, especially in your situation. True this, but I have always been mystified by people getting upset because someone at a party is not drinking alcohol. I have seen parties get ruined by drunks, but never by people being sober. The fact that she kept trying to make OP drink, too. That's all for today. If you are enjoy this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you.